Yeah, how you gonna ask another black woman what she did for her culture, bitch?
It's fucked up, but I respect the audacity.
Of course you would respect the audacity of a white woman. You disappoint me on a regular basis. Messy boots.
Cam has looked at the landscape. He has looked at other men and he has sized them all up. And he has said, I don't believe any of y'all can beat my ass. So I'm going to do what the fuck I want to y'all. If I'm LYFT, I'm calling Dave Blunts. Let's get both of them on stage. We just got to resecure it, but let's get them both on stage.
You're shady as hell.
Whoa.
Are you as a 40-year-old grown man falling into his shtick, knowing this is what he does? You said he was on DJ Akademiks' radar. DJ Akademiks being a grown man, you know this is what this kid does. This kid has never had a bigger platform than when you decided to like stream with him. Mm-hmm. So you need to use your grown ass cognitively functioning fucking brain to discern that you're not gonna fall into this trap.
We've been working hard at this show for about a year, and we've been looking at the numbers, and I've been comparing it to, other people who subjects that they talk about, and I have to come to grips with everyone here, man. We got to start talking about the white people, dog. I'm sorry, we got to.
Yeah, we got to start talking about white people.
Twitter nonstop. The gangbang beef in the world is probably almost worse than the gangbang beef in the actual gangbanging world.
It's corned beef.
That I hate it. I hate it here so much. So apparently she was saying that Alabama had messed with her baby daddy, who has put hands on her multiple times before. Like this, Royce. Like every time I've seen clips of interviews and things that she's done, like it always hits me in a very specific place in my heart because I know she has not been lying. This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
Your whole life is revolved around talking about other people's lives.
What the fuck do you think your ass is doing on that podcast
Rocky.
now?
Oh, man. I come to you guys a somber podcaster. Literally on my 13th reason, if I'm being honest. It's been a tough week for me. I am a Commanders fan, and we took an L, and it hurt on so many different levels. I have to start here because it did. All right. This is a very important thing. If I was going to come here, I was going to brag about a lot of different stuff. I had a list, I had a script written out on my phone. I had to just delete it. I had to throw it away. It was worthless. There was nothing that I could do with it now because we lost. So the Commanders lost to the Eagles, and it's just so much salt in the wound when it comes to this because our quarterback didn't play bad. Rookie quarterback, biggest game of his life, and then throw a pick to the he was having to just throw it out there. But you clowns who've been in the league multiple years, fumbling the ball.
That's crazy.
The whole team full of squirters. We're just letting it go. Whichever way. As soon as they tickle it, it's like no jumper. That's what you should have called us. Instead of the Commanders, we no jumper. Like that's exactly what was going on.
That's a little dramatic, don't you think?
We was getting screwed out there, and they was just letting it fly. Everybody was a squirter. Everybody wanted to squirt out, and it hurt.
Squirt fest.
I almost cried. I wanted to cry, man. This is an important thing for me. Okay, my team hasn't won the Super Bowl since before I was born. Literally,
mad long ago.
That's
so
hate.
Long ago.
That's eight.
Just so many decades.
That's 8. 4 months before my birth when they won. So this means a lot to me because my father hasn't even got to see them in a conference championship game since then. Like I was in the belly at the parade. My mom told me. So this was supposed to be a great occasion for us. We were going to go back home. I was going to take you back with us. We were going to celebrate the Super Bowl, do it big time.
Oh.
And now it just stolen from us. And then salt in the womb, the nigga you be gassing fucking did it. Like that's the even worse part
Now
of it.
how did I get in it?
No, because you was over here infatuated by the nigga diamonds.
infatuated is crazy. I was just saying that the rapper diamonds are very different from the sport diamonds.
Yeah, and then you made it very clear that you wanted to bring him in it, and you had to identify him. That's crazy.
Well, that's who I was talking about.
No, that's nuts. That's freaking nuts right there, man. I'm not going for it.
Them rapper diamonds do not be dancing.
Like, I tried to do everything. Like, throughout this whole time, I feel like it was my fault we lost because I watched the game. In the other games, stuff had happened for me to miss it, and so I was like watching it proxy through other people and other methods. But for this one, I just think that's I just got too overzealous. Like, I wanted to be with my dad. We were I almost broke his hand when I dapped him up after a play. Mm-hmm. Like, he had to take a lap. He had to sit down for a little bit. He had to go on the treadmill. You know what I'm saying?
Your dad is not young.
Yeah, you're right. But he made me feel better at the end because we was on the driveway and I was probably going to break. I was probably like a couple seconds from breaking down. He was just like,
he was really about to cry, I'm sure.
And he was like, you know what? You got to be here. We got to be in the game I haven't seen in decades. It's the best day ever. And he just made it all go away. All the pain. It was all gone. It was like, okay, we had a good day.
Yeah, you got to watch the game with your dad.
Yeah, so that was all that was important in the day. But hail to the Commanders. We won't ask for respect. We will command it. And you believe that. All right?
All right, period.
All right. So we're going to play the worst song in America right now. Watch the Elvis movie.
I feel like Madonna would have showed up for this definitely. But Lady Gaga, like, she has
they all doing that. They definitely going to be there. But no, have you seen the Elvis movie before?
Yeah.
When he was doing his comeback and he had that music video the little video that he produced that was him performing all these songs. That's exactly what that looked like when he had the sexy up. That was the Elvis style that she did. That was crazy. But let's get into the show. You are now listening to Talk F&F TV, the greatest podcast in the world, with your host, Absurd Rhetoric, and my beautiful, lovely, and amazing, and gorgeous co-host, Miss Reality.
Hi, guys.
And make sure y'all like, follow, and subscribe early on. Make sure y'all give us those comments and engagement. We need it, or we will really have to change over to our new subject matter. We're going to have to leave y'all behind, nigga. Like, real shit.
Leaving you niggas in the dust.
We're going to have to go. We're going to have to go where the money at. But no, since we're talking about big, juicy, and wet, I think we should at least stay on one of those words because of what's been going on the internet lately.
Yeah, so I was just scrolling on TikTok one day, and this young lady,
Dank Demoss.
She made a video and she was explaining how a Lyft driver refused her the ride because of her weight, and then everyone was like, "Oh, that's messed up," and then people started to like go onto her page, and then they was like, hold on now. Like,
maybe there should have been some questions.
So upon further investigation, this car, the Lyft, was already like not okay. Like, it was.
You talking about the vehicle in question?
The vehicle crawled to her in the first place.
He was on his last leg.
Like,
I
the vehicle was not in good condition. So her being quite large.
Yeah, she is a behemoth of a lady.
I'm just saying she's quite large. Like, it's not crazy that he refused her that ride.
I mean, okay, so here's the video right here of when
I can fit in this car.
No, believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What am I doing with my money?
I'm going to cancel it. You're not going to be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small in the back.
My best friend has a Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same time.
That's better suspension.
Yeah, this is like a Nissan, I think.
This is like a Honda.
Honda?
Really
like a Civic.
I'm too big to get in your car.
I'm saying small.
They are small.
So I gotta order another Lyft.
And to be more specific with you, I got very tired tires.
What I got to do with your tires?
Yeah, and you have no space.
How you know I don't have no space?
Yeah, I got no space in the back.
How do you know I don't have no space?
Because I tried before.
Huh?
Because I've been in this situation.
So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL is for.
No, I don't.
He said that's what the Uber XL is for.
That's not what the Uber XL is for. Sir, the Uber XL is for 4+ people. When you need more than 4 people in that bitch. That's
crazy as I don't know what. So I'm conflicted by this because everybody's like being super duper sensitive about this and like, oh, no fat shame. Yo, everybody is okay with talking the way people look, the way people, how much money they got, how tall people are. We don't have, bro, I'm going to feel the same way if Jabba Hutt comes to my car trying to get in for the Uber ride, bro. Like I'm going to feel that same way.
If my car is not in great condition, then I might be a little bit iffy about that. But it is a touchy subject. And then LYFT came out and apologized to her. Mm-hmm. And now she's suing LYFT.
Yeah, I mean, right.
For how much money? Like $6 million or something like that?
It was north of like a few $1 million. I haven't seen, let me see if I can see where they clearly put it at. But the thing about this is, okay, he discriminated the wrong way. So you have to, when you're going to discriminate against somebody, you have to do it like the white people do it. The white people just act like you don't exist. What he should have did was as soon as he seen her coming down,
just keep driving.
And then even if you felt like an instant, like it was just a little bit that they was the same person, you hit the cancel and just drive off.
That's happened to me before.
That's happened to me. I was literally asking for, I was in the hood trying to get an Uber and I'm waiting for the nigga to come to the gas station where it's well lit. I see the car stop across the street.
Now that gas station, regardless of being well lit, is a low.
Well, it wasn't the one by my house.
Okay.
It was another one. I was in the deeper part of the hood. Like
well.
So he sees us. I'm like, yo, we right here. Come come get us. Like I'm not about to walk across the street across the traffic light and stuff. He just canceled and kept it going. You can't do nothing about that. But when you give somebody evidence and you're using your words to say, no, you are too heavy for me to service you, you just easy. That's an easy layup.
Yeah. But okay, so let's talk about the LYFT, like her trying to sue LYFT part. Okay. Because the drivers on LYFT are independent contractors, and when you hire independent contractors, can they not low-key set their own rules for their own businesses?
So there are certain
you can't
parameters.
Just straight up say you're not gonna like give rides to fat people, but
because it's a little different in that way because that it is, especially with LYFT, because LYFT was created to be for women, to be able to safely transfer. Like there's a part on LYFT where you can just be a woman and get women only drivers. So there is that portion on there. I know that the private contractor thing does kind of come out, but when you put like your name of LYFT on the people's cars and things of that nature, you're kind of adopting whatever service they provide. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably why it's going to go to LYFT. And I think they also did like a public statement regarding it where they kind of like apologized.
They did, yeah.
And that in of itself can give you liability once that goes on file and that goes on record.
Because who is y'all PR team? As soon as you apologize, you're liable because you're admitting wrongdoing.
It was just a lot of talking. That was the crazy part. Like the driver shouldn't have been talking.
Nope.
And the company shouldn't have said anything.
Nope.
Like there was no reason for that. But once you give her this kind of benefit now, to me, it seems like it's going to be a slam dunk on her kind of case. I think that's why you see that video of her going in with her group of people and all that stuff, sitting down, they having like a little business meeting and all that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of going to be, you know, where they kind of lean into that. I think there's a win here though. Like LYFT, y'all can get out of this. I won't say scot-free, but she is a rapper. And I think if I was y'all, I would try to find a settlement that placates her ego a little bit. And let's say, hey, let's just get you a show. How about this? As LYFT, we're going to do a concert where you'll be a head act or the opening act. We're going to invite a whole bunch of people here. We're going to get as much, and we're going to give you exactly what you want.
Well, those are just shady business practices.
That's what I would do, though.
And I would never encourage a giant corporation to like get one over on a black woman, but regardless of the situation. Like I want her to get her money, and I rather her fuck them in this situation than the other way around.
I get you. Again, I'm always want to support the artists as well. I'm not against that. I'm just saying I've come across these big women artists before on different media, and my thing is this: if you're of that size, right? I'm not trying to be disrespectful to nobody, but when you're of that size and you choose to do something that puts you and the front of the attention, like that can be played into. Like you're slick, kind of desperate for attention. Because you know when you get in front of the camera, you're not gonna get just positive comments. It's evident.
But that's
like when we talk about Republican stuff, or we talk about white shit. When it's like, oh, they come at us and they're like calling us stupid and all that stuff. Those are just pseudo for nigger.
I think that's
we have to expect that.
It's a weird. You're going somewhere that's a little bit weird because just because you're fat doesn't mean you're like posting stuff for attention, and just because you're fat doesn't mean that you shouldn't post stuff.
I'm not saying
because there's always going to be negative.
I'm talking about people who are artists who are creating content that are generally that size. They play into it,
like that dude that you
Blunts.
like.
Yeah, she's Dave Blunts.
Yeah,
she's the female Dave Blunts. They play into the fact that they're large.
Because Dave Blunts was talking about, oh, he wants to crowd surf. Nigga, you want to injure a crowd full of people?
They need to do a song together. I can't put down the wings. I can't put down the cup. That would have been hard. You don't think that would have been hard?
I can't get in the lift.
I can't get down the cup. Yo,
we're terrible people.
No, I would definitely buy that song. Like,
no.
I don't even buy music, and I would buy
Absolutely
Dave Blunt's what's her name? Dank Demoss. Like I would buy that if they got together. Because
their names are like kind of alike too.
Yeah, Dank and Blunts.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. They need to get together and do a mixtape called Fat Weed
Juicy
Session.
And wet.
Oh, I was gonna say Fat Weed Session. A Fat Lean Session. And they out here and they just both have a cup
and sell a whole 50K.
Yeah, go crazy. I think if I'm LYFT, I'm calling Dave Blunts. Let's get both of them on stage. We just got to resecure it, but let's get them both on stage.
You're shady as hell.
Whoa. What do you mean?
Like he just tried to slip that and we just got to resecure it.
I'm just saying, like, let's get them up there. All he need is a couch.
You saw that video of her performing and she tried to do and
she fell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, whoo.
Somebody was like, your niece said, we ain't never did that before now. Why did you think we could do that now? First of all, it's skinny bitches that can't even do a drop down. It's
she felt like a sand shrew. Like she turned into like a little ball when she did that.
Well, that's so just funny. The best way to fall.
I mean, it was secure.
Yourself.
She tucked her chin. Yeah. She definitely tucked her chin. That wasn't her first time falling like that. She's practiced that.
No, when you're that big, you fall a lot. No,
I would think the balance would be there because the stomach was forward.
They ankles be tiny.
True, she did.
They ankles be tiny. No matter how big you are, your ankles
they weren't meant to support that.
They're the last to get large.
And I feel bad too because I don't know if it's something like most people try to attribute being overweight to like, oh, you're like a gluttonous and you're like want excess. A lot of times you just got a condition. Like sometimes,
that happens too.
I knew a girl whose mom and her sister both took this particular birth control, and it turned them into whales. Like
birth control does it a lot, and then it's also mental health too. Yeah. Like when if you watch like My 300-Pound Life, like it's an addiction to food.
So sometimes it's that, but a lot of times it'd be like they got injured. And then they couldn't do nothing.
Yeah,
and
that
then
happens
food was the only thing that was something that could be recurring for them and brought them happiness. And then that's how the gluttony starts. But a lot of times it's not just the pure gluttony. Like it's something else that contributes to that.
And then the interesting thing about that show is there's most of the time an enabler. Like somebody who's just like feeding
get disability
them.
Checks.
Like it's a crazy.
You can get a disability check.
Crazy.
You can get a disability check. I know people who were morbidly obese and like it was difficult for them to get around. You know what I'm saying? Like they couldn't move around after a certain point.
Yeah, a lot of them can't move around.
Yeah, it's too tough for them after a certain point.
Yeah.
So that's why we were joking and all that, but at the same token, like I do want to see her get a win. I felt like what I offered is kind of a win, though. Like.
No, her getting the millions of dollars that she's suing them for
hundreds of thousands. It's not
would be the win. And regardless, the whatever amount of money I think would be more smart for her to take than a concert like with LYFT, like a Dank Moss X LYFT. I don't want that. Like, just give her the money.
I'm just trying to tell you. I feel like if invest in yourself, Dank. If you're going to do that, invest in yourself. You done already
Yeah, hopefully she's smart with the money, but niggas don't be smart with money.
I'm just saying, if you get the company to invest in you, they'll be more likely to, pull more favors and shit like that can be, beneficial for it. I
don't know. Do you want to start a working relationship with like extortion, basically?
Yeah, 100%. That's how Vlad did it. Vlad got big after his case with Rick Ross. Yeah. So I mean, hey, you got tried. Now you getting it back in blood, and it wasn't technically LYFT. It was Buddy and Honda.
I know this isn't on the list, but speaking of Rick Ross, his baby mom, one of his baby mothers is on.
Tia?
No.
Oh, another one? Damn.
Yeah. He has multiple baby mothers. I forget her name. Stormy. She's on that new Netflix reality show, Wags to Riches. And there's been a lot of discourse on the internet about colorism because the whole cast is mostly light skinned and they have completely like.
Ain't Yes Jules on that show?
Yes. And Jules is on that show too. She's the only white girl.
When did she fight? Was she fighting Rick Ross's? Was that who she was fighting?
No, that wasn't. That's not who she was fighting. She was fighting another woman.
They was going at it. She tried her about that culture though.
Yeah. How you gonna ask another black woman what she did for her culture? Bitch.
It's fucked up, but I respect the audacity.
Of course you would respect the audacity of a white woman. You disappoint me on a regular basis.
I respect general audacity.
You disappoint me on a regular basis. You know what she said? She said she went and got an abortion that day, and that's why she was being aggressive. I was like, bitch, why are you outside?
Who? Yes, Jules said
that?
Yes. Yo, I just killed my baby, nigga.
Girl, go home. Like, what the fuck? And then you think you can take your aggression out, and then all of the girls
hold on. She killed a black child then, because she generally sleeps with black men.
Yeah, she killed a black child and then went and hit a black woman.
That's crazy.
She was the aggressor in the situation also. She hit that lady.
Yo, you might as well be Yes Clan out of that.
Oh my God.
That's too much?
Yeah.
Oh, well, salute.
Let's reel it in. But so Rick Ross' baby mom, 50 Cent, so she had a sex tape with some dude that she was with. 50 Cent bought it from said dude, put it out, and then she won millions of dollars from 50 Cent.
I respect it. Gotta stay. I mean, that the whole, she learned from Vlad. She saw, hey, Vlad got your dumb ass. I'm gonna go get the nigga that hates you. She played it. It was a setup.
I didn't even know Rick Ross and 50 Cent had like big beef like that.
What? That was like mostly through the late 2000s?
Yeah, that's why he did that. 50 Cent did put his baby mom's sex tape out because he had beef with Rick Ross.
What I'm saying. Through the late 2000s, they was beefing big time.
Yeah, I didn't know.
That's when Tina Kemp and all that.
Tia Kemp. Yeah, he did a video with her. He did a whole like magazine shoot.
Yeah, he did like a series with her actually.
Yo, 50 Cent is the worst. That's the last nigga on earth I want to beef with.
But Rick Ross started chilling with his son or something like that too. He started kind of getting involved with his son and stuff too. So
but
it was crazy. It was nasty all around.
50 Cent is still the last person I want to beef with.
I'm not mad at you.
Like that nigga he has shown us over and over and over again that he is the pettiest person, petty king.
It's funny. We
self-proclaimed petty king.
We had a whole segment we were talking about 50 Cent and I took it out one of the episodes.
Why?
It just wasn't that good in the long run.
But okay.
It was still just like, it's just funny that you said that. I just took the whole thing out. No, I wasn't. It's gone. We good. All right, so let's get into DJ Akademiks. His news is unsavory, to say the least.
Getting this nigga the fuck up out of here. Yes. Celebrate good. Let's pull up.
You gonna pull up on Ak? This your version of smoking on Ak?
Get you the fuck out of here, nigga. Yes.
All right, so let's kind of give a brief overview of what occurred. So Ak was on a stream. Well, he was in a Discord that was being streamed from a 15-year-old streamer named like Nor GNX or something like that.
He's a little white boy.
Yeah, he's a young white boy. He's from overseas, I believe, too. He's like,
he didn't sound like it. He sounded like a American boy.
They teach English over there.
But he wasn't speaking English in an accent. That boy's was just speaking English, like American English.
I've been doing the research. He's not from overseas.
Okay.
He's from overseas, but he just he's over here doing streaming and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he's kind of a big deal, kind of popular, stuff like that. So that's why he was on Ak's radar. So they get into like a little conversation. So what a lot of people didn't realize was there was a conversation that was had before that was triggering what Ak was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So beforehand, they was they was asking another group. They asked him like a pretty sexual question, like would it say Black Boy Max is like, which is another streamer, would he suck a dick? And so he said yeah, and was like, yeah, that's my man's. Of course I'm gonna do that for him to bring him back to life.
Oh, okay.
That's why he said he would do it. So
okay,
then goes on the stream, and that's where he starts asking the foul questions at. Whereas he start asking him about, would you do that or would you do this for Black Boy?
Do
Max?
you have some clips of?
Yeah, I can play the clips.
Yeah,
of it.
let's play it.
But that's where he was kind of going into with that. That's where it stemmed from. So it wasn't like he just came and started talking to this kid. He didn't know who this kid was, and then just started saying these raunchy statements to him. Mm-hmm. There was a prior statement going. It doesn't excuse him for anything. It definitely sets the context for it. It just sets up that, hey, there was context behind this, what was going on. What was your thoughts though when you first just saw it? I'm gonna get the script ready.
I thought it was really creepy. You know, like I don't think you should be speaking to any kids that way. I don't think you should be asking them those sort of questions, especially if like you don't actually know them. Like you're just a guy on the internet for real. Like has he ever met this? Like you've never met this boy.
No, he just only spoke with him before.
Yeah, prior. So it was really creepy. And then you could tell that like the boy, all of his replies were like, this is uncomfortable. Like, I'm underage. Why are you asking me these types of questions? Like, regardless of where it started, like something like, would you suck a dick to keep someone you love alive? Like, yeah. But then when you get into like the types of questions that he was asking him, it's really creepy. And then his replies, him being uncomfortable, just makes the whole situation unsettling. I
will say that is also part of his troll though, where he'll say stuff like that. So
that's why DJ Akademiks is a piece of shit.
I'm just saying that's part of Buddy, the dude who was saying the kids troll. He'll do that. He'll spark a conversation and then you'll start bringing it. Whoa, bro, I'm 15. What are you doing, man? Like that's part of his stick.
But he's 15.
I know, but I'm saying,
why are you as a 40-year-old grown ass man falling into his shtick, knowing this is what he does? You said he was on DJ Akademiks' radar. DJ Akademiks being a grown man, you know this is what this kid does. This kid has never had a bigger platform than when you decided to like stream with him. Mm-hmm. So you need to use your grown ass cognitively functioning fucking brain to discern that you're not gonna fall into this trap. But he's stupid. And I don't respect him, and this happened.
Yo, Nor, what's your address? I'm gonna send some strippers over there.
Slow down, yo. I am 15. I hope you know that, bro. You trying to get...
You scared of women, bro.
I'm not scared of women. Yo, bro, you trying to put me on a case. You trying to put them on a case.
So?
What you mean, so? That's weird.
The voice would make him sound like he's younger than what he is.
Yeah, but he's still 15.
You know, all the rappers lost their virginity to like old women, right? Like,
shit. Wait, hold on. So you tell me that there's not another 15-year-old that you could bust down?
Yo, bro.
See that? Hold on, I want to stop right here. See, but that's a question that like you would ask like your nephew.
Yes, but that's your nephew.
I know that. I'm saying that's why it's funny. That's why I'm explaining why I'm laughing.
Okay.
Because that's a question that you would like ask somebody that's younger than you, and that would be within, I wouldn't say appropriate, but it would be, you know, a normal, unfortunate. I guess you could say unfortunate.
That's something like I could see a dad and son having this conversation. It's not creepy at all. Like, son, you busting shit down, or like it's a completely different context.
We're gonna talk about a conversation like that a little bit, but hold on, I want to play a little bit more of this, and then we.
So there's not another 15-year-old you could bust down.
You go to school?
All right, imagine. So if you could do one of them sex changes and you could become a girl.
No.
And get pregnant.
That's illegal now.
Would you let Max get you pregnant?
No. That would be gay.
If Max said he wanted to try fucking a dude, would you let him fuck you?
No.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yo, you can have.
Wait. If I can't fuck you, I'm cutting you off.
No, yo. Suppose he's like, yo, bro, listen, yo, you always wanted me to be next to you. Now I could be inside of you. Pause.
Okay, so it gets a little crazier after that too, but that was nuts.
Absolutely. It seems like, and then there's a part where he was like, yo, that's grooming.
I mean, technically it is. Because people think grooming means like you're trying to sleep with that person, but gearing up a person for sex is also considered.
Yes.
Grooming.
And
so,
then
grooming.
it's just like, would you let him fuck you? Like it's
that was sick.
If you're somebody who does not know DJ Akademiks and his style of trolling or whatever, not that I'm excusing it whatsoever, but hearing that's
insane.
Seems like he's trying to like
get him ready,
test the waters trying to sleep with this little boy. Not sleep. Take advantage of this little boy.
Yeah, he trying to seem like he's trying to get him in a freak off.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a 15 freak off.
What is going on with DJ Akademiks?
It's to me, this is why I take steps to I don't even really kind of be around minors, and I hate that because I feel like I could be a great example in some aspects, but because
you have a great father, you're a good man.
But because I have conversation, my dad is crazy too, though. Like because my dad had crazy conversations with me, like because I know that I have socially unaccepted views, like I'm an atheist and stuff like that. I tend to not open myself up to that. Like there's a kid who lives in our neighborhood who every time he sees me on the porch chilling or whatever, he'll ask, "Oh, you want to shoot hoops and all that stuff?" And I was like, "Nah, my knee. I got a bad knee, dog." Never, nothing. My knees are intact. Like,
you know, knees completely fine.
Never tore a ligament. But I just tell them that because it's like I don't like to do that because I don't want to say something that he may not like. I don't want to do something that makes him or his parents uncomfortable just because I'm being myself. And so I'm just kind of be forward of that. Like I'm aware of things that can happen like that. What were you about to say?
I didn't even think about it that way because the other day I was like, you should. Like, that's kind of mean. You need to play with that little boy. Not like that, but like shoot some hoops with him. But I didn't know you were telling him that you had a bad knee. I thought he was just like, fuck out of here, little nigga.
Oh, no, I wasn't doing that. That's me. That was me. But no, I was
so that's better.
I just gave him an excuse or whatever. But it's like, I don't feel comfortable around people's kids that aren't my immediate family or my own. So it's just, I don't, because like I said, I say crazy things. Like I told my son being gay isn't a bad thing. And my friends looked at me like I was nuts. So it's like I understand.
Well, your friends are they have like cavemen like views.
But I'm just saying, like, if I understand where it's like I'm okay of having conversations and talking about stuff that with my own kid, and I don't really look at it like an age thing because I'm not doing nothing wild like DJ Akademiks. I wouldn't see that being an issue with another kid of a similar age. But because I know other people will, I just stand back. I'm cool. That's your kid. Cool. I'm away from it. Like I was gonna get into coaching like basketball and stuff, but I was just like, no, that's just not a place for me. Because I know how I want to be pushed or how I wanted to be pushed. And that just doesn't fit how everybody wants their kids to be pushed. So it's just stuff like that. DJ Akademiks, I'm not going to sit here and give you any bail. Like what you said was wild. But you can't cancel somebody like him. I think that's what somebody needs to understand. No matter what the Twitch ban, because apparently there was a Twitch ban that he said happened.
Yeah.
He said he lost, there was reports saying that he lost endorsements. DJ Akademiks from his DJ Akademiks TV page comes back in response to that. They say the ban was essentially for Aiden Ross being on the phone when he called Aiden Ross. And then also he didn't lose his sponsorships. He said all the sponsorships were still good. So again, that's his reporting from his house. That's not all been verified or confirmed on either side yet.
Because he might just be trying to save face.
But the thing is he also signed that deal with Rumble and he's still with Rumble. People still exclusively watch him on Rumble. So they would win for him getting banned and kicked off other sites because then he'll just focus on Rumble.
Yeah.
So again, he can't really lose in this unless he does something that violates the right wing. And talking weird, like that's part of their shtick. The comedians and all that, like he's aligned with himself with that I think he feels very comfortable. You think
he's aligned with the right wing?
He interviewed Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah, he did.
So, I mean, he's very much aligned with that. He feels as though, and you know, immigrant men who will come over here or be second generation, get to the money and start to see themselves as better or bigger than even just fellow black people, just everybody in general. You've seen that before. Don't act like that.
No, I just think it's interesting that you have that view.
Why? Because I'm not an immigrant?
Yeah.
I've just seen it before. I've worked under immigrant men before. I've had bosses that were immigrant. And then you see how they conduct themselves because of their whatever fortune or money that they acquire. They don't see themselves as like you or even like their fellow people from their own homeland.
I have a different view of immigrants because I'm Haitian and
But you've never seen a Haitian man that started coming into some American money and started to treat people different or started treating the culture different?
Wyclef.
Okay then. So I mean, there's an example.
Wyclef is the number one example of that. He went on a I'm not fucking with Haiti tour, and then tried to run for president in Haiti, and then all of the Haitians were like, all you did was talk about how you don't fuck with us for mad long. We don't fuck with you. Get out of here. And then he don't really speak Creole that well.
How you gonna try to be the president? You don't even speak the tongue.
He don't even speak it that well.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't try to be president of Haiti. I can't I can have a conversation with a Haitian person, but I can't express myself and my personality the way I want to in Creole, the way I can in English.
Yeah. It's very clear that Akademiks has adopted the white supremacy culture of America.
100%. Where is he from?
He's from Jamaica.
Okay.
So he's adopted those principles and ideals. And I mean, that's why he feels he's untouchable. They gonna show you a nigga. Don't worry.
They always do.
They gonna show you a nigga, but it's just gonna look different for you. It's gonna feel different than we probably seen other people with because you've aligned himself so much. But he also has such a low overhead. That's the thing that is the killer.
All he has to do is sit in his.
All he needs is a camera
in his streaming room.
All he needs is a camera, a chair, and a laptop.
Yeah,
and he's there. So I mean, that's where the part where it makes him hard to beat is because he requires so low overhead.
You can't ever stop him from making content, and there's always going to be people who gravitate towards his content, obviously. But I think this was a hit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see
of some sort.
We have to see it in the long run because again, the administration that is in now, it's the rules are different.
Yeah, the
rules are going to be different, especially when you're independent in that kind of way, where you don't necessarily have one or two people who are funding everything. You kind of have multiple streams. You're a little bit more untouchable.
Do you think,
or not untouchable, but you can weather the storm?
Do you think he gets all the Drake exclusive shit now that he's kind of been put in this PDF adjacent box?
No. I don't think unless
Drake has also been put in this PDF adjacent box, and do you think that Drake would try to stay away from him and stuff? Do you think that other rappers would try to stay away from Ak because of this? Do you think it stains him in his ability to get exclusives, get interviews, get people to come on?
No, I think the controversy around him.
Do people come on his show?
Yeah, he has rappers and stuff that'll come on. He'll call in and stuff like that, or he may have a video chat with them. So it's not that, like I said, that kind of doesn't really come with it because anybody who's desperate to be famous or trying to get lit are going to go to Akademiks. They're going to want to still.
I'm not talking about the desperate to try to be famous dudes. I'm talking about the already famous. But
he already has that kind of stench already with him. There's not a lot of guys that'll come on there that are established, brands, unless they need a rollout. Mm-hmm. Unless they need a moment or stuff like that. We seen it with Drake. When Drake needed the moment, he put Ak's voice on there and all that stuff. He don't be fucking with Ak. I don't think we'll see a real sit down with Ak and Drake unless Drake is getting a piece of Akademiks. What I mean by that is a percentage. So him signing with Stake or something like that.
Yeah, he would have to do that.
So he would. That's why I say Drake doesn't. That's not appealing to Drake.
That's why, low-key, when you said that, now I really don't think Drake fucked with him at all. I didn't think Drake fucked with him in the beginning, but I really it's solidified because wouldn't Stake try to get Ak?
They did.
They did?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's to me, that's even more reason why he doesn't rock with him to that level. Mm-hmm. Because I tried to get you on, you said no. So now I'm going to keep you at a distance. You're good because you're useful, but I'm going to keep you at a distance. So
I'm just wondering if there are not any black creators on Stake that Drake could have given that interview to, that white boy that played all of his op songs without even knowing. Was there anybody? I don't know the
but
streamers.
that dude is the biggest guy on Stake, so that's why he did that.
Yeah,
the guy
but
he was with is the biggest streamer on Stake, so that's why he.
That was the first time I ever seen that nigga.
Well, I mean, he's not in our algorithms. He's been popular before. He was popular on YouTube.
Okay,
and then he just came up but when you in those white circles, you can get all of Europe and all them other countries to be into you, and you get millions of views and not even be that big in America.
Yeah,
but that's how a lot of them like it. But we got one more topic, and then we're gonna have to tell y'all about some changes that we're gonna be doing in our coverage. We're gonna make y'all aware. We still gonna, like I said, we'll keep it real, but we gotta talk about Cam Newton, man. Cam Newton might be taking messy boots from Shannon Sharp. It might be official. With this last interview, it's official. So he sat down with Royce Reed, I believe that's her name.
Yeah,
she's we've talked about her before on the show as well.
We have. She's Dwight Howard's
first baby mama.
Yeah,
and she has this right here was probably one of the most eye-opening interviews I've seen. Because I'll be honest, I haven't looked for her content. Like, I would see certain things and see the media post about her.
She's been doing interviews for a little minute now, and she used to do interviews and she used to say things a little bit cryptically, and then over time she started like giving us more and more and more details, and now she's just spilling the beans.
The floodgates was loose on this one. But before we get into that, because I do want to talk about that, I do want to discuss about what was going on with Cam Newton and kind of the blowback he was getting. So if y'all are not familiar with Royce is like the quintessential, and don't take this wrong when I say this, the quintessential nightmare that a lot of professional athletes have when they think about dating black women. Like, that was who a lot of them would, if they had to write it down, it would look like her.
How so?
In regards to how vocal she's been, how much stress it seems as though their relationship and contention has been between her and Dwight.
It has not
the
been.
fact she's been on the show, a show about it, like all of that stuff was like the quintessential. Oh, she's just trying to get a bag, paint her as a gold digger type of woman. Even though that could be the farthest from the truth of who Royce is.
No, it's not.
That is what she was painted as, and that's
she ain't getting nothing.
If you was talking to a lot of these athletes, they would say like, "Oh, I don't want a black woman because of Royce." They would look at her and be like, "That's the kind of woman I want to stay away from."
Her specifically.
Yeah, just the type of woman she is. And they would associate, you know how we do that? We associate one black person does something, we associate all black people. So that was, I believe from what I saw, was what was going on with her. Cam Newton sits down with her, and while I do agree he is messy boots for this, to a degree, having a man of his stature sit down in front of her and validate the words she's saying, we couldn't do that. Like, we couldn't, no matter what we talked to her, she could give us the same kind of interview, but because we aren't in the established realm like he is, at least in his profession or his prior profession, it doesn't validate it the same way.
Yeah, and regardless of how many interviews she's done, nobody has taken what she said this seriously before, because it's a man who's in the same field as her dude.
Kind of professional athlete. But just to hear him, how many times he was speechless during the interview, how many times he was kind of stuck on his words, you could tell in a degree, I'm not saying that he's done anything that similar or claim, but he could put himself in a mind frame that, damn, this is the things that I could be doing or could be perceived to be doing to someone. And it made it feel so real throughout the interview.
I wish I watched it.
Oh no, it's good. I'll show it to you when we finish up here. But I just, man, like, let me say some of the things that was just going on, because there was messy. Like, I do want to say that to Cam. You kept a lot of messy shit in. There was some stuff about Braun.
I kind of want to play some clips from it.
I'm about to play a clip.
Okay.
Because there was one part where she talked about Dwight had shitted on LeBron James. And it was shortly after the death of Kobe had been announced. So that was kind of a big, here it is right here.
Really crying or sad about Kobe passing. He said on the plane he had no emotion. And he was just like chilling. Like, everybody on the plane is upset, and LeBron was just straight face. He's like, the only time he got emotion was when he walked off the plane, and I think he walked off last, and he got in a car and like was like this. There's a video. He was like, that's the only time he had emotion. Okay. So when I told my boyfriend that story, he said, you need to leave. He's like, why would you need to know that? Why would he tell you that? And I was like, what? Why would he lie about something like that? That's crazy. I'm like, but I mean, it's not going to change any way I feel. But it was also my son's favorite player. He always talked about LeBron. He wanted his sneakers. Oh. So when you look back on the shit that he was doing while we were in that house, he was planting seeds from the beginning. So now you're telling our son, who thinks of LeBron as his hero, that he's just this cold person.
So I want to add a little bit of context to that as well. So do you know what year Dwight Howard was drafted in the NBA?
No, I have no idea.
He was the year right after LeBron James.
Okay.
So this is what happened in 2020. So their career have, done what it's going to pretty much do. He's a second string bench player on the same team as LeBron. So just imagine you're the first pick as well. You've done everything that you could, stayed with your team, tried to bring them you brought them to the finals just as amount of time LeBron did. And at that particular point, like 2010, you could say they both went to the finals once. been up for multiple defensive players of the year. He didn't win MVP, but he's been in the top 5 MVP multiple times. And you can see where that frustration could be like, hey, why does he keep getting all the shine above me, even though I beat him in the playoffs? I've shown that he can't really compete with me the same way I can compete with him in that regard. And I can see where if now my son is saying that's my favorite player,
his ego is bruised. Not even bruised. It's beat up.
It's beat up. Because now I'm on the bench on the team that my son's favorite player is, who again was the first pick a year before me.
Yeah.
And he's still playing at a high level. I done had a back injury. I done gone through all of this crazy shit. And here you are still on top.
67 in the NBA still.
That's what I'm saying. I can understand where there is maybe some room for there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
That there's some beef between them. So she also goes on, she details an assault from Dwight on her. Mm-hmm. She goes into very graphic detail regarding that.
She's talked about that multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
The mental and physical abuse that he's put her through. Mm-hmm. But what did she say about it this time?
No, she was just going in regards to just like how he was grabbing on her, things of that nature, how she felt like it started from something, him not being serious, too serious. It was like a drastic change, like immediately in the moment. And like, no, just the emotion. Like there was one part in there where she just like, you could tell they had to cut it out because she was like going through it. It was she still has the trauma from this situation. It was extremely tough.
Royce, like every time I've seen clips of interviews and things that she's done, like it always hits me in a very specific place in my heart because I know she has not been lying. Mm-hmm. Everything that she's been singing the same tune for decades. Like her story has not switched. She hasn't wavered. I've believed her from the very first time she's opened her mouth. Mm-hmm. And it's so fucked up that she had to, there's stuff that when she talked about what she went through, like living on his land during COVID and stuff like that.
She talked about that too in this interview.
She's talked about it so many times and her story has stayed so consistent. And it's just, my heart goes out to her very much, Royce.
Right,
and the way she was perceived when she was on Basketball Wives too. And now, like, it's really messed up.
All right, I got one more clip and then one more point I want to bring up.
Fuck it. Mm-hmm. Is he gay?
I think he's curious.
Have you ever witnessed him?
She said she has.
In some gay shit. Curious is one thing, but you ever witnessed him on some gay shit?
I have never witnessed him doing it, but
No. Because that's a strong, out of all this shit that we're talking about, because you can't say that.
Cam and Dwight obviously not mans.
Okay, you ever been in a house
well, they both
where
big
you're
time
like,
in Atlanta.
how did we all get here?
They both came from Atlanta, so why wouldn't they?
You know, like it is such a variety of people. And like you would never probably even speak in like just the regular world. Mm-hmm. It was like that. And this was at party night. And let's even back up a little bit. Christine had left because she found out that Dwight and I had started messing around. She had no idea. Mm-hmm. And he tried to pull us into the room to have a meeting. And he said, y'all want to pull out y'all toys? And she was like, what? You know? And I was like, what the fuck? Because
Dwight's such a sick nigga, young.
Yeah, 100%.
Dwight is such a sick nigga, young. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I do want to bring this up too, because this is about the whole Cam being messy. So you know J.R. Smith, right?
Yeah.
He was the one who was smashing Joe Budden's ex. Respectfully, this is hella corny, Cam. Bringing on a black woman to kill a black man is never cool. Don't care who's right or wrong. All clickbait ain't good clickbait. This ain't love when they did this.
All clickbait is good clickbait. Just like we say, all like bad publicity is still publicity.
I mean, this is what Cam said though, and I hate the way that you still are a 30-some-year-old man and still use this text. It hurts me.
What does he text like?
You see that? It looked like a.
Oh yeah. I hate him. Yeah, Cam.
This is what it's. I don't even know if it says call it what you want. I think that's what he's saying. Call it what you want. Respectfully, I don't go back and forth and no comments. I ain't hard to find, sir. So this is what I have to just come to for a conclusion in regards to Cam being messy, okay?
Messy boots.
Cam has looked at the landscape. He has looked at other men and he has sized them all up. And he has said, I don't believe any of y'all can beat my ass. So I'm going to do what the fuck I want to y'all. Like, none of y'all can beat me up. We seen what he fighting like 5 average niggas at once.
Yeah.
You don't remember when back in this training that he was having? Not training, but he had one of his camps. And some shit sparked off. And he's pushing 3 human beings by himself. You niggas can't beat me up. So I'm going to say whatever and do whatever I want on my podcast. Because y'all can't check me. I'm 6'6", 250. Stop me, nigga.
You can't.
And I respect that. I can't get mad at that.
That is also a behemoth of a man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But that's muscle.
And then he be wearing them stupid ass hats.
He had a stupid hat on too.
That make him at least like 5 inches taller.
He looked like a fucking funeral, what do they call, Undertaker? That's what he looked like with Royce.
He looks like a post-apocalyptic video game character.
Yeah, I can see
in real life.
He's like I said, this is a giant man.
Like, it's just so crazy. He be having the hat and the feathers and the locks, and then his outfits don't be making no sense. And then you be seeing him just walk around, and I'm like, bro, like, what is actually happening in front of my face right now?
I'm just telling you, he's when it comes to this, like I said, I don't blame him for doing that because he has a lot of motivation to why he wanted to do that. He talked about on that show where he was saying, hey, you know, my money isn't the same. I can't provide the same way I was having, which I think a lot of y'all took out of context. I think he's more so saying like, I can't provide the same flashy way. I can probably still provide for my kids in a way that is serviceable, but I just can't do it in a way that when I was getting $1 million checks, which obviously duh. So I think he's motivated by that to be one of the biggest people in media. You see him going crazy on ESPN, talking about the Fox scandal on ESPN, like alluding to that. That's what I'm saying. He is going for it. So I see where maybe he's like, bro, I was the best. I was one of the best in my old profession. I'm about to put my head down, say what I say with my chest, and nobody can stop me from doing it. And I just respect that.
Yeah.
You gotta respect that. So shout out to you, Cam.
While we're on sports, has there been an update on the whole Fox scandal, the FS1 sport thing? Okay.
Not yet. Well, we'll be on it though. We'll be on it though. So we have to break something to y'all guys, man. You know, we've been working hard at this show for about a year, and we've been looking at the numbers, and I've been comparing it to, you know, other people who subjects that they talk about, and I have to come to grips with everyone here, man. We got to start talking about the white people, dog. I'm sorry, like we got to, young.
Yeah, we got to start talking about white people.
We got to start killing the white people, man. It's no offense. It's not, you know, at y'all directly. It's just we have to include more Caucasian people on the show. It's DI. Diversity, equity, inclusion. We're just doing our own version of it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to include it in there. So we're going to bring things up now. Y'all going to be saying like, yeah, they seem to talk about a lot of pale people topics. That's just what we're going to have to do now.
That's what we're going to.
I'm sorry.
We testing it out. We seeing what's going on.
We testing the waters, and we're going to see what's going on, man. So we're not going to touch the biggest one that's going on yet. We want to make sure we get some more information to make it fun.
The juicy juice.
You know what we're talking about.
You know the white tea that's going on. That's the juiciest one.
In my white tea.
We waiting on more updates on that one.
Yeah, we want to do a really good breakdown on that.
Because we didn't do a great job at bringing it up the first time. Like we didn't even know.
We didn't even talk about that. We just talked about her doing an interview with Shawty. Because it didn't even spark just. It was probably like the next week after when things really started going.
Okay.
Because that was allegedly his first, you know.
Let's move on though. What do we have on the
Caucasian docket?
The white tea docket.
So we got to talk about what happened this week on the Howie Mandel show.
Okay.
So if y'all not familiar with Howie Mandel,
we are not.
You're not? I thought you knew who Howie was.
No, I'm just speaking for black people.
Salute,
I'm just a black voice.
Salute. So Howie Mandel, he is a comedian, also like a TV personality, if you will, who has kind of just taken his stardom next level.
Is Howie Mandel the game show host, the one with the suitcases?
Host. I believe, he used to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Deal or No Deal?
Yes, Deal or No Deal. No Deal. That's that dude.
But he did a bunch of acting too. So on his podcast months ago, he had a man by the name of Billy Katzen. I believe that's his name. I want to make sure I'm pulling it up correct. But he is a musical artist where he does things like, you know, play guitar, things like that. And he was on the show and he told Howie a story. Billy Corgan. He told Howie a story before the show that he asked him to share on the show. And that was that his stepmom told him some important information that connected him and Bill Burr. So I want to play the clip, and then I want to get what your thoughts on it and kind of have an even bigger conversation about how performances are done within culture when conflict arises.
Mm-hmm.
Who's here?
Oh, hey, what's up?
Sit down.
You're an asshole.
Billy Corrigan. Billy Corrigan.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole?
Yeah,
I thought this would be great to bring a family together.
Well, he didn't tell you. He told me you were totally cool with me coming.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
I thought it would be
so
a
then,
good
like,
surprise.
can this be like edited out, or no?
I can go. I mean, you told me Bill was.
All right, fuck it. No, I'll do it. Like, did you ever think the fact that I never told that story, that, you know, maybe you shouldn't? Did you ever, you know how many fucking, like, emails and crap that I got? Like, I sort of, like, went away from that.
So let me just fill in. Let me just fill in.
Do we talk on a regular basis?
We've never met.
So Billy Corrigan was nice enough on my podcast to talk about the fact that he told a story that he had never told before, that his father traveled.
My stepmother said to me, "Do you know who Bill Burr is? Bill Burr might be one of the children that your father sired in his days on being a traveling musician."
If you do the math,
he was a piece of shit. And he had two kids this close together, and he named them the same fucking name. He thinks it's different because he's Billy and I'm Bill. Like, that's how he told the difference.
Well, I was Bill when I was young, but you're right. I mean, with all respect.
I just thought.
All right, well, whatever. You know, it's not that I don't like him. It reminds me of all of that shit. So, you know, it's like,
it just seems more of the same from what I've been hearing.
All right, whatever. I mean, I like your music.
Appreciate that.
Okay, great.
Would you?
They don't even fuck with each other. Like, Bill.
That was the first time they met. Yo, Howie is a scumbag.
He is.
That's exactly.
That's really messed up.
That is crazy. But that's the thing. In there, I don't want to make this when I say culture, I'm not making it a race, ethnicity. In that comedian, especially the white comedian culture, like, that shit is acceptable though.
Yeah.
Like, that shit doesn't end in a fight.
They do crazy shit to each other for content's sake. So they can have crazy stories to tell on stage that come off hilarious, because after you process this as a comedian, especially Bill Burr, he's hilarious. Mm-hmm. When he next stand-up special, if he talks about this, it's gonna be thought-provoking, it's gonna be funny, he's gonna find a way to make it amazing. So that's probably why he wasn't
if you hear his tone though,
upset. No, he is pissed off.
Upset. Like, I could tell his tone, like, yeah, I'll do this just because you caught me, but I'm not going to, this is not going to be something I talk about again. Like,
no.
That doesn't, whatever that dad did or didn't do, like, it had an effect.
It definitely did, because you can tell the reason he doesn't have a relationship with his brother is because of the pain that it causes him because of what his father did. Mm-hmm. So that's so weird. And then lying to the brother and telling him that Bill was okay with this and he's completely on board. Like, he was completely blindsided. Both of them were completely blindsided for your content. Like, these are actual human beings' lives.
But like I'm saying, like, that's part of their kind of shtick. I don't even say shtick. That's, like I said, that's part of their culture in a way. Because I don't know if you know who Ari Shaffir is. Ari Shaffir is cool with the Joe Rogan crew. He's the guy that said the tasteless joke about Kobe and his passing. Mm-hmm. He drugged Bert Kreischer, who's another comedian in that group, on one of the podcasts they were doing with Molly at his family's house. Like, he was at his house with his kids, his wife, and he drugged him in front of everybody. His wife was pissed off at Ari. Like, it was serious. But again, when they went on these podcasts and talked about it, it was always a joke.
When I saw I didn't know the pre-story, but I saw the clip of the person who was drugged telling the story, and he was laughing. It was a hilarious thing. Everyone was in the comments laughing. Now, like I said, they do fucked up shit to each other, and now it's content, and now they get to tell a joke about it.
So my thing was coming this when I was talking to my dad about this, and I had made a joke about, playing a joke like that on one of my friends. He was like, yo, you can't do that with a brother, because a black man, regardless of his social economic status, if you pull a card like that, it's going to get in violence.
No, it's not.
You don't think so?
No, it's not going to get violent, because not all black men of any social economic status would resort to violence in the first place.
In regards to you pulling on a string like this, we're not talking about making fun of my car, my job. We're talking about you bringing in a family member who has ties to extremely emotional things. Like if I did that to one of my friends and they dad that they're not really close with, they'd punch me in my face.
I am very adamantly against what you're saying that any black man, every black man would resort to violence in that situation.
Let's say the overarching majority.
No, I don't think that is the case either. I think there is a maybe like a 30, 35 at most % chance that it would get violent. I think it wouldn't be this calm. It would be like niggas would be cursing each other out 100%. It would get a little bit volatile, but I don't think hands would be put on each other for this specific thing.
The other day, there was a town hall meeting in a suburb outside of Chicago her name is Tiffany. I forgot her last name. She's a mayor of the city. She's actually been strifed in controversy her entire 10 years mayor.
They're calling her the worst mayor ever.
Yeah. A dude calls her out her name at the event, and her boyfriend assaults him. Cameras everywhere, news everywhere. This is a publicized event. She even jumps into the fight.
Hood boogers.
That is that's kind of what I'm speaking to.
I think it's really weird that you're saying that like a majority of black men would get violent over this situation. I genuinely do. I don't think that would be the case. I think most people would probably just remove themselves from the situation and just get up and walk out. Like, what is going on here?
When it comes to an attack, a personal direct attack, you add the cameras, you add the cachet, you add what can happen to a black man in that position if that embarrassment gets traction, what he can lose. Yeah, you see more often than not that ends in violence.
I think the black man knows what he can lose if he is violent. So I think
Will Smith smack Chris Rock in the face.
That was one thing.
I can go down list of high profile black men who have resulted in violence.
But I'm just
I can speak to Will Smith a few times.
Most of the black men that I know in my actual real life would not be violent over something like this. They would remove themselves from the situation. They would curse everybody out in the situation. And then they would not put themselves in, like they would just cut that person off. Like I'm not
trying to make a sweeping like, oh, we're just these brutes. I'm talking about when we specifically go narrow down into this culture and we look at the black men that come from this kind of entertainment, they generally have a history of coming from poverty.
So you're trying to take it down to just like black comedian podcaster men.
Affluent black men. We can go through affluent black men being pushed in these certain situations, and more often than not, you can find instances where violence or aggression took over rather than what you're saying. They'll walk away or let me get out. Like you see that.
If you're talking about affluent black men, okay,
we go Malice in the Palace. I believe 9 times out of 10, if that would have been.
I don't think sports needs to be taken into it because I could literally give you like pull up a hockey compilation of white men being violent.
Yeah, but that's part of the game.
And
I'm talking about when he went into the stands.
But let's talk about. Let's stick to like rappers, comedians, actors, like because I think athletes. There's lots of adrenaline going on in their fields. So let's stick to other people. When you talk about like Will Smith, give me another example like that.
Gentleman was doing like a little interview. He got kind of close to him. I don't know if he kissed him or whatever. I know he did something affectionate to him, and Will slapped him. Will Smith.
Okay,
slapped the interviewer.
Let's leave Will Smith.
I'm just telling you another example. Will Smith.
I'm trying to because that just proves that Will Smith has anger issues. It doesn't prove that black men in this field have anger issues. So give me other examples of other black men who aren't Will Smith, who have been in front of a camera and been put in a compromising situation, who resorted in violence.
Well, I just thought the Will Smith one and
if you have no other examples other than Will Smith,
those were the ones that came to the forefront of it. But
like Will Smith is the problem.
I could think of a few podcasts. There was another podcast. Well, these guys aren't as high profile, but it was another podcast where remember the dude was talking trash and he came and punched him in the face while he was talking trash on the podcast. Like you can go to plenty.
Are these not famous people, or are these just regular niggas you were talking about? Because you wanted to put
they're famous.
this
I mean,
in a
they're people
specific
trying
box.
to be. They're people in entertainment. Yeah, they're people
Okay,
trying
because
to
I wanted
come
to
up.
stay in the box that you drew.
We can also go to any kind of. There's been a few times on No Jumper where
none of them niggas are famous. Cut, move on. Cut and move on.
We're not talking about being
You
on
went
camera
from
and embarrassment.
Will Smith to No
I'm not talking
Jumper.
about Adam. I'm talking about people who are on No Jumper.
That's even worse.
I'm just going with their action.
Because only the most bottom of the barrel clout chasing ass SoundCloud rapper ass niggas go on No Jumper. Let's move on. Like Will Smith is still the only example you have.
Okay, what we want to do? Offset every time he's been.
Okay.
There's been plenty of times Offset in the
Yes.
Migos in themselves. Anytime they was tried, Joe
That's
Budden.
a good example. Yeah.
Tons of times. So
Okay.
I mean, again, there's more people that we can go to.
That is a good example. Okay.
XXXTentacion had instances of similar thing where he got tried, he got a camera and started trying to people back. So I mean, this isn't this hip hop culture. You can take it to a whole bunch of different places, but this happens. We've seen it. We've seen where disrespect results in our culture more often than not in violence than it does like, oh, I'll get you on the back end. Very few times you see the Michael Jackson, I'll just buy your catalog approach.
Which niggas need to take that approach
They
more
don't
because
got the capital.
It hits different. And Drake tried to do that same thing, but I don't know. It didn't work out for you. Now you
And so I don't want it to sound like I'm trying to be overly critical on black men in that situation because I understand the rigors of getting to that position and then feeling like, oh, I can't lose this.
Yeah.
And then you get into all this other stuff that happens where it's like now you're defending your pride, you're defending your ego, and it takes over too much. And it just becomes a trend in our community that you don't see as much publicly in their communities. They'll turn that into money to them, which it seems like. They'll turn it into a movement for them.
But then in their community, they don't have the same like barometer of aggression. Like people will be this aggressive and people will take it as this, and then they'll be this aggressive and people will take it as this. Like they have more leeway than we do.
That. I understand. To me it was just very interesting. Like unless you go to the trailer parks of white people in regards to that, you can get an immediate reaction, of course. But it just seems as though
disenfranchised people are always a little bit more aggressive.
for the same group of people in the same type of environment. Granted, I understand too. A lot of those guys, especially when we talk about entertainment and sports, came from places that were not the best, and so you didn't learn how to respond to particular triggers. That kind of way.
You don't have healthy coping mechanisms.
On the other side, they may have not been as down bad, but they still lived in an environment that was close to more affluent people. They got to see certain examples of things, and so that's probably another reason that would go into it. But I just thought it'd be interesting to point that out.
Yeah,
and just kind of had that conversation.
That was an interesting conversation.
Yeah, you try to paint me like I was fucking Uncle Ruckus.
I think it was an interesting conversation regardless, because I didn't know where you were going with that, and I was just very confused because I didn't like the way you were wording that, but I liked the way you cleared it up in the end.
I do my thing, I do my thing. All right, so we're gonna stay on our pale conversations. We got two of the adult film star ladies, the corn star ladies, that have been beefing. So I found this report through No Jumper. Adam 22 had all the tea. So I'm gonna let him break it down, and then I want us to discuss who may be in the wrong, and also why are white women fighting over 1,000 bodies? Let's do it. All right, we got it right here.
With Lily Phillips. She's the one who did the documentary about her fucking 100 dudes in a row. Then right after that, we get hit up by Bonnie Blue's management because we were supposed to shoot with Bonnie Blue the next day. And we get informed that because we shot with Lily Phillips, now Bonnie Blue is pulling out and does not want to do porn with us. And
so when I first heard that part, I was thinking like, oh, there might be some diseases involved, because that's what that sounds like. But he continues.
She did the same thing to other adult podcasts in LA as well. So what I believe at first, I thought, holy shit, Lily originally had the idea for the 1,000 guy gangbang, and then Bonnie snaked her, went around her, and did the 1,000 guy gangbang first. Which, keep in mind, these two chicks were doing gangbangs together. There's videos out there of them fucking 20 dudes together at the same time and shit. But then, as we dig into it, Lena actually did the research, goes into the Twitter, starts looking at who posted about it first and everything, and we figure out that basically Bonnie Blue proposed the 1,000 guy gangbang before Lily Phillips, and then Lily Phillips, when she did her 100 guy gangbang, announced that she was going to do the 1,000 guy gangbang before Bonnie was really able to get much motion doing it. Now, the problem is, you go to the Pornhub rankings, Lily Phillips is like number 3 in the world right now. Bonnie Blue is like 184 or some shit. So it's like, you got to, I don't want to pit girls against each other or anything. They don't f with each other right now. Lily Phillips got the star power for sure. She's the better looking one. She's the one who everybody is paying attention to on more of a mainstream level right now. You see her posted about on Twitter nonstop. The gangbang beef in the porn world is probably almost worse than the gangbang beef in the actual gangbanging world.
It's corned beef.
That I hate it. I hate it here so much.
You don't like corned beef?
Not between white women.
Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. So no, but I'm looking into it because he goes into and talks about Lily being the more conventionally attractive one of the two.
Okay, I'm gonna look up what both of them look like.
You've seen Lily because we talked about her before. She was
okay, let me look up.
But Bonnie Blue, they're both, to me, they're not too far.
What's Lily's last name?
Phillips.
Okay.
So Bonnie Blue, she's all right. I don't think that they're that different in regards to looks.
Okay, Lily Phillips is a attractive looking lady.
But Lily looks younger than Bonnie. Bonnie looks a little bit older. I think that's what hurt her.
Bonnie Blue.
She has a little
bit they
older.
are the same prototype of white woman. I don't know what we're talking about here.
But she looks a little bit older. Lily has a little more of an aerodynamic look to her, like her face kind of, ovals in. Not as much as hers is kind of more, not normal-ish face, but it's aged. It's a little weathered, more weathered than Lily.
Are these the two of them right here?
Mm-hmm. You see? It's just a little weathered.
Bro, I'm going to send you this picture so we can put it up while we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Are these not the same exact white woman? Is this not the same woman twice?
No, one of them looks older than the other. Bonnie looks significantly older than Lily. I don't know if they're significant, their ages. Hold on. You look up Lily's age. I'll look up Bonnie's age.
Okay.
I don't think.
Well, I already had Bonnie typed in.
Oh, I did too.
Okay,
Bonnie is 25.
Let me.
So, and she looks 30, to be fair.
Phillips?
Yeah, Lily Phillips. Bonnie does.
She's 23.
So, okay. So, damn, 2 years does that to white women?
Bro, white women age terribly. Especially, it looks like Bonnie has had filler.
Okay.
Which is why she looks older. Okay. And she wears a lot more makeup too.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely see
and
that.
it looks like Lily kind of does like a softer look. Like she wears less makeup, which is probably why men are a little bit more attracted to her.
So how does that sound when, like, I know it's only probably this conversation only happens in their kind of world. But like, how does that sound when you go up to someone and he's like, why don't you like her? And you're like, she stole my 1,000 guy gangbang before I could do it.
Well, she stole my idea for content before I can do it. You don't have to
go specific.
You don't have to specify that it's a 1,000 guy gangbang.
But if you say that to me, I'm going to be like, what kind of content?
Well, yeah, but like me too. But like that's if she's probably not super like private about being a corn star.
But both of them are not. But the thing is, like, I just don't see how you could be upset with someone for being a better cum rag than you. Like, that's just crazy to me.
That you're being an asshole.
That is?
Yes. Because let's take out like the fact that this is obviously disgusting, right?
Let's take out the first word of the beef, corned beef, right?
Yes, let's take out the fact that this is obviously disgusting. One content creator was working and doing collabs with another content creator and shared with her that this is an idea she had. The other one took it, ran with it, did it before her. That's a little messy.
That's shady. Okay.
That's just messy.
We'll look at it like fair content all around.
Yeah.
And we'll say, hey, yes, that is messy.
They are both cum rags, though. Cum buckets, actually, because you need more than a rag.
I'm telling you, there was no cleaning that up with a rag. Oh my goodness. Oh my, they probably could have had like so many.
My God, and then so
imagine how many humans they could have cloned.
I think about like the fact that like most of us have like sex flashbacks, right? And they're good sex flashbacks with like people who we had consensual, enjoyable sex with. Do porn stars have flashbacks to like just being uncomfortable and not wanting to do this and like having to power through it mentally? Because I'm sure that I have to do that. I'm sure that there's people who you don't want to do that with. I'm sure there's times where mentally you're just not in the mood and you just have to power through it. Like, do you have flashbacks of just like feeling like a nut rag?
I think with them, a lot of times you'll hear, and especially when I was watching the documentary with I always say her name wrong, Lily Phillips, when you listen to her, they kind of just black it out. Like they kind of just, they don't even really remember the event like that.
I've seen, Netflix used to do documentaries about sex workers and porn and stuff a lot during COVID. They put out a couple, and I watched all of them. And a lot of porn stars, especially when they're in that like traditional like pumping out roles, if you're not like an OnlyFans girl doing your own content on your own time, they do drugs.
Oh,
they do heavy drugs.
I would only imagine you would have to
just like purposefully disassociate.
I would imagine it was the same technique that they use to perform content, the same kind of stuff that they have to do. You could probably say that a dude who is about to do a drill probably does similar.
A drill?
Like a drill, like going to shoot his ops.
Oh.
Like what you would do to get ready to do a drill on your ops was probably very similar to what they do in regards to getting, inebriated, taking hard drugs.
Would you not want to be aware, though, if you're putting yourself in, like, danger where you can die?
Well, most times these niggas don't look at it like that. The drill, it's not like we going to war and these niggas know we coming at them. We catching them off guard. So I need to be in the mind frame where I can just end a nigga life off the top without even thinking about his family.
I think if you have to do drugs to end someone's life, then you need to not be murdering people.
Well, I mean, the nigga who doing the
like
murdering.
you gotta I feel like as a murderer, you have to do it sober. You have to do it sober.
We could argue that
you have to be okay with that in your heart sober. You can't do drugs to kill.
We could argue that the porn stars, we should say that
you're
to the
a
porn
pussy.
star.
You're a pussy if you have to do drugs to kill. You got to do that cold-blooded sober from your heart. You have to enjoy killing.
So you gotta raw dog the kill.
Dog the murder.
But you can't raw dog the scene? I mean, not literally. I mean, physically, like mentally. Raw dog the scene?
I mean, I don't have a specific, like, you need to do this if you're a porn star. Like, this is... But if you're taking life... that is very serious. You need to be mentally aware of what you're doing, and you need to make sure that this is what you want to do, and then do it if you want to do it. That's what I'm saying. Is that crazy?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Because the guy who's killing he probably doesn't want to do it. He only doing it because he's getting pressure from other people.
His act is way more serious than somebody getting fucked.
Debatable. Somebody could die either way.
I don't care what mental state you are if you getting fucked. I need you to be clear and aware of the fact that you about to kill somebody and you want to do that shit. Not just because.
Hey man, regardless, because if we being honest, and we're gonna finish up with this part. If we're being honest, if you have to get on drugs to do your scenes, you're essentially saying the guy has to assault you because you're not in your right mind.
This is an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
That we stumbled into, because I have come across, like, there are lots of women who get drunk to have sex. If you are inebriating yourself past the ability of giving consent in order for that to happen, what is your thought on that?
That's, to me, it means you don't really like sex. That's how I look at it. If you can't do it sober, then you really don't like doing it. And
that's what I'm saying. The same thing about killing.
But I mean, that would make the same thing about the corn scenes. Like, you shouldn't be doing the corn scenes if you can't do it.
You're right.
Without being inebriated.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I mean, especially at that point, anything can happen to. I've seen behind the scene corn clips where the scene was done and then the niggas went and started fucking her again. Like, I've just seen it, but she was just so inebriated. She was just like acting like it was cool with it.
I've seen like before, like BTS before the clip happens, before the deed starts getting done, and it's just like knocking back shots. Like there was one video in particular that I remember vividly because she basically chugged that bottle, and she was like talking about how much she needed this to get through this because it was 2 dudes that she was doing in that scene. And then it's a whole, so I fast forward to them actually doing the scene. It's a very long video. And then she's just like, you could tell that she's messed up during the scene. And I was just like, this is fucked up. This is really fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Cause like I said, it goes both ways in that regard. It's a toll on who you are as a person. That's why when I'm so critical, and we're not going to talk about this person, her name Jada Thorpe. She's a college basketball player that just signed with Playboy. And it goes back to my long-standing theory of why do the women who are in professional sports that are women of color always have to go to selling sex. But we can step away from that.
We'll revisit
it is detrimental
this
to people to have to do that, though.
I want you to compile evidence and then
I did that the last time we talked about it.
No, like more than just like keep doing it and then make it a whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been tweeting about it every time I see it. I just make a note of it.
Yeah, keep doing that
because anytime I see the women of not color and they're not turning their backs.
But then I also want you to make a note of the white players that are doing this too.
But they're few and far between.
Yeah, but still make a note.
When I see them, I'll try.
Yeah.
I won't forget.
And then we'll compare.
No, I won't forget.
We'll be journalists. Okay, so let's stop talking about like the bottom of the barrel gutter butt white girls and let's move. we not moving that far up. But we're moving like one step up. So the girls on TikTok, the young girlies have been beefing. So I don't know if y'all have seen this. So Alabama Barker, which is Travis Barker's daughter, who is married to Kourtney Kardashian, has been beefing with Bad Baby, the Catch Me Outside girl. So can you look up Bad Baby's baby daddy for me? Because he's an athlete or rapper of some sort, and I don't know his name. So apparently Bad Baby and Alabama Barker used to be friends. Bad Baby then posts this video, and she's like, I know that you are a home wrecker and you mess with men who are in relationships and married all the time, but I never thought that you would do that to me. So apparently she was saying that Alabama had messed with her baby daddy, who has put hands on her multiple times before. Like this is she's come out with
she's the
bruises.
She the bad Barbie drum.
Yeah. So his name. What?
Oh, I was just showing you his picture.
I needed his name.
Levon or something. That's his name is Levon or something. Like
okay. Is he a basketball player or is he a rapper?
That nigga look like he ain't shit, honestly.
No, I think
he was like a producer, wasn't he?
He's something.
Yeah, his name is Levon.
Okay, so apparently Alabama Barker slept with this man. So they've been going back and forth, posting videos about each other on TikTok, going on live, spilling tea. So Bad Baby went on live and she allegedly that Alabama Barker got an abortion, and everyone thought that she got an abortion and the baby daddy was her baby daddy, Levon. But apparently Bad Baby came back on the internet and was like, no, she was not pregnant by my baby daddy. My baby daddy never slept with her, apparently. So she rolled that back. I was like,
that's not what you said the first time.
Okay. She said Alabama was pregnant by Tyga, apparently. And if y'all not messy like we messy, okay, I told you Alabama, Travis, Kourtney. Kourtney is Kylie's sister who has Tyga's child already. So it would be
not Tyga's child. She dated Tyga.
She dated Tyga. And then but she has
But Chloe's brother has a baby mama that he shares with Tyga.
Yes. That's the whole messiness of the situation, right? So it would be absolutely insane if another third party leg of the Kardashian clan had a Tyga baby.
Yo, Tyga just looking for any kind of opening he can in that family. He trying to take advantage of it.
He is.
He don't want to share a baby mama. He want one of y'all to be his baby mama. And Travis, I don't know what you got going on, big dog. How you gonna let that fly?
Yo, Travis has been. I don't think he can control Alabama at this point. I think she's a certain age. I think she's above 18, probably 17 or 18.
To be fair, we have to kind of put this in perspective.
Let me look up how old she is.
We have to put this kind of in perspective with things as well, because Tyga and I'm saying Travis survived a plane crash, yo. Like
Alabama is 19.
He was the only person that survived this plane crash that he was on. Travis back in the day. You survived this plane crash, so Tyga could be tapping your daughter? What? You survived for that?
That's insane.
And then Tyga, why you keep fucking all these young girls, son?
That's his thing. That's his thing.
Like, can you not have like a 21 age limit or something?
No.
At least keep it like Leo. Leo is 22.
And then they was messing around like last year, probably when she was like 8, as soon as she turned 18, probably.
Yo, Tyga is wild, man.
He want to get them as soon as they turn 18.
You just like them fresh. You want to be the first one off the porch with it.
And then, okay, let me show you really quick. This was Alabama Barker a couple years ago.
Normal white girl.
Okay. This is Alabama Barker now.
Jesus. Goodness gracious. They done put the line around their lips. Once the white girls start putting the line around their lips, you done lost them. They for the streets at that point.
Girl, like full frontal bundles, black girl aesthetic. Like she changed her whole accent and everything.
Do we think this is like her being rebellious? Like because her dad is like a punk rocker, she's like, okay, I'm about to go full hip hop with it, like just to oppose you?
I don't know. Yo, because a couple years ago, also in like 2016, she was putting out like pop songs. She wasn't doing this
But I can
thing.
see that once her dad started dating Chloe, he probably things could have happened,
up.
Pushed her away to a degree, and now she like
she lives in the house with them.
Well, I mean, still could push you away. We can live in the house together. You still treating your new wife.
Push her away. I think that the Kardashian clan just made her want black dick.
Wow, they've been off it. They've been off.
No, the dude that there's like a guy.
The only one who's still
Courtney's
fucking up.
been Lamar popped up in this
That's Chloe.
most. Yeah, and then
But
who
Chloe,
else? Kylie. Oh no, Kylie is with Timothy Chalamet.
Her sister is with a white dude. He was with Bad
Her
Baby.
sister apparently they haven't been together for mad long. Bad Bunny, literally.
That's it, baby.
Bad Bunny made a album that was so Puerto Rican after he was in the Kardashian household. He was like, I have forsaken my ancestors and I'm never doing this again.
So
they're
who
not
else?
Together anymore.
Kim,
and then
she was one of the last niggas she was with was a white dude.
Who, Pete?
Pete, yeah.
Yeah, and she's rumored to be with somebody now. I just assumed he was black.
I mean, right now their
But we don't know
aesthetic
who
was
he's
changing
with.
to white. So
Yeah, and then Courtney.
she went full punk rock.
Courtney has always dated white men though.
Yeah. No,
Courtney,
she dated a few black guys before, didn't she?
No, it was Scott.
It was just Scott though. Huh?
And then Travis.
Okay.
That's all. We didn't know anybody in between. So according to us, she's only dated white men. But I feel like when you're in that like Kardashian, like they're all curvy, they all have that like aesthetic and stuff. Like you wanna
I just
emulate
feel like it's
that.
rebellious because it feels like they're going one direction and I'm going to go the opposite or where y'all came from to be a symbol of resistance.
Or
That's
do
what
you
it feels
think that this is just something that white girls be going through? Like they just be going through the baby hairs black guy phase until they get older and then they're like, okay, let me settle down with a nice white man and be a white woman.
It just depends on what your upbringing is for most people. I feel like with hers, it's because she has.
Look at her.
Because she has so many options, she can resist in any kind of way that she wants.
She can.
That most girls coming up don't really have that same option. You resist by what's around you. So if you happen to be around the black people, then I can see you adopting those cultures and things like that. I had a white friend growing up and his parents moved him, they moved themselves all the way up to a white county in our state because he was adopting a lot of Negro tendencies. Like way he want to dress, way he want to have his hair, like he was adopting Negro tendencies and they had to take him out of there.
So there was also diss tracks exchanged in this beef. Do you want to like play the clips of them real quick?
I'm not getting striked because
all
of
right,
Alabama Barker.
Yo, Alabama. So Bad Baby put out a diss track. And then Alabama put out another diss track and basically said your best friend is messing with your baby daddy and you're not going to care because you're going to keep taking him back because you keep taking him back. That's
Even
what you
after the
do.
beats.
Yeah. Alabama ate her up. I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't even want to have an opinion about this, but Alabama, like the everything, her flow was better.
You got to respect it, man.
So it was much better. But then I saw that Alabama put
But are you surprised? Hold on. Are you surprised?
that she's better than Bad Baby at rapping?
She literally comes from musical talent.
She does, yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
but
one comes from the trailer park.
Alabama put out a cease and desist on Bad Baby.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
I'm with it.
That's not like, if you gonna be the hip hop bitch, like you can't. But apparently Drake is making cease and desists and suing and stuff hip hop, apparently.
It's been hip hop.
So cheers, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
It's part of the game now. You got to learn it. Learn it or get left behind, actually.
I don't think Bad Baby is ever going to go revert back to being a white woman.
I don't think she can. She's had too many attachments.
Like, she's never just going to go be a regular white woman ever again.
She'll have to be like a Christian white woman.
I think Alabama has potential to do that because that's what all the Kardashians are doing now.
Yeah, but they're getting the surgeries done and all that kind of stuff. Like, the thing about Bad Baby is she kind of just has to do that. She has to do that black shtick.
Oh yeah, because that's what got her here. Yeah,
she doesn't really have any layers to anything else. So.
And then she could really she needs to stack up and then go away. That's what she needs to do. She's had multiple opportunities.
She has enough to stack up and go away. She don't want to.
Yeah,
she's obsessed. All she's known is being in the public eye since she was a little girl.
For a while now.
That's what I said.
Her mom is completely fine now.
Her whole life, that's all she's known is being in the public light and being a nuisance.
Yeah.
To culture. So I mean, she got to do what she got to do, man. All right, I feel like this isn't taking up even more, like in regards to us trying to stay into this pale base. But Trump and them, these guys are tripping out here, man.
What happened with Trump?
It's just for one thing.
What else happened with Trump?
It's just for one thing, like the fact that the whole trade war that happened with him in Colombia or whatever. The fact that two presidents are threatening higher prices on their citizens as a threat to the other country, stupidest thing in the world. Like, y'all over here throwing tariffs away and people are like, yeah, Trump, do your tariff. And yeah. Like, do y'all not understand that?
We pay for that.
Yeah, like, that hasn't changed. I don't care what Trump tells y'all. We pay for the tariff. And the fact that the Colombian president is then saying, I'm going to threaten you with tariffs as well. What are we doing?
Everything is just getting more expensive because we have a petty ass president in office. That's what's happening.
He's cutting off everything. I don't want to blame him. And again, RIP to those people who lost their life in DC in that plane crash that hit that chopper. But I'm not want to blame that on Trump because he, took away the funding.
What plane crash?
You didn't hear about 60 people died?
No.
60 people died.
When?
Yesterday.
What?
Yeah, it was a plane. A plane was coming in.
Bro, what is happening with my algorithms?
A plane was coming into airport and there was a training Black Hawk helicopter that was in the air, but it wasn't reporting that it was in the air. So then they came and they hit them and they said 60 people died. They said they found 4. I saw that they said they found 4 people in the river, the Potomac River. And a large people are trying to say this is somewhat to do to Trump because he was doing all the federal funding and that affects the hiring of air traffic control, but it's not 100% sure that's.
Oh my God. So many people have been getting fired, displaced. People have to go back to work.
But you could say though, with the air traffic control thing, and it is with Trump, the fact that you are putting so much like speculation in the air. And I don't mean that as a pun, but when you're putting that much speculation out there, I can see where people aren't thinking clear. Mm-hmm. They worried about what's going on. Am I going to be here? So the people maybe who were supposed to say that we're going up, they either forgot or slipped their mind, or maybe this wasn't supposed to be on record. So they were trying to keep the training off record and all this other stuff. And now this happens because people don't want to get in trouble or get on the wrong side of the president.
That's crazy.
Because they see what they're doing. Again, that's just my speculation and theory. But no, I want to give condolences to those people. I just want people just to understand, like, man, listen to what this billionaire is saying, because he's lying to you all the time. He just told the American public that he stopped paying $50 million for condoms for Hamas. We don't pay condoms to Hamas. The only contraceptive that we're even putting in that region is going to Jordan. All of this stuff you can Google and look up. Like
you said it was about $50,000 and it was for oral contraceptive and not even condoms, right?
Yeah, it's not condoms or anything.
So it wasn't condoms that were being used to make bombs, which I don't make bombs, so I can't even tell you whether that's
they're trying to use it that
an ingredient.
No, you're using the latex to cover the bomb so you can put it in water and then it can travel.
Okay,
stuff like that. That's what the idea of it.
Child, I don't know.
But
what I have been seeing is that the Palestinian people are now, after 9 days of the ceasefire, are now returning to the northern part of Gaza, and people are going back to their homes, and they're showing just like rubble, just like
awful
random shit. 4 walls maybe just broken down, and it's literally heartbreaking.
No, it's tragic. It's tragic. So definitely our hearts go out to the people in Palestine, and not the Elon Musk way. We're not doing that on the show.
That was not a German or a Roman salute. That was a Nazi salute. And the only Roman salute is, I am not Jasmine, I am Aladdin. So far ahead, these bums are sagging. Okay? Rah, like a dungeon dragon. That's the Roman salute. That's the only Roman salute that matters. Let's continue.
We got one more topic to go and then we can wrap up. But we gotta talk about one more thing too before we get into this. So the information came out about Rogan and the Kamala Harris. So everybody was talking about how Harris dropped the ball by not doing an interview with Joe Rogan. And that
talked about that a lot.
Yeah, we talked about how that could have been an assist to her. So apparently it's come out now that has not been essentially the case in the way that they presented. They had actually made multiple opportunities to try to work with Rogan, and he made, not her. Joe was making things difficult.
Yeah.
So according to a few articles I was seeing, like The Hill and some other places that were reporting on this, essentially they were saying that, so she was coming out to do her Houston campaigning, and she wanted to then go in with Joe Rogan so that they could have that conversation, sit down. He, bails on that, says, I can't do that. They offer another day, which was the 22nd. He says, no, that's a personal day. Come to find out, that was the day that he was interviewing Trump. And behind the scenes, Elon Musk and Dana White were repairing the relationship because, Rogan was a big fan of RFK. He wasn't really a fan of Trump. So they used that opportunity to repair their relationship, have him on the show. And that's why, if you look at it, he's being extra buddy-buddy with them. And that's, again, what the articles are claiming was going on. So, again, there's a degree where I don't want to say that these gentlemen rigged the election.
They did, though.
Like, I don't want to say, like, scandal rigged the election. But there is a way that you can say they made a concerted effort, not only with just what was being pushed on X, but what they were doing with a lot of these content creators to make it feel like, hey, being on the opposite side of the elites is being a conservative, which is the stupidest thing you can ever think in your life. But that was largely what was done there. And to me, I think when we go back, and there's going to be people who, once this administration gets out, because you see them getting rid of everybody who could potentially cause any resistance to them. Once this administration gets let out, we'll probably see a lot more eye-opening things regarding that election. And I think we're going to be very evident that it could have been a takeover from one direction than what they claimed in 2020.
All of the things that happened after Trump left office and the case being opened against him for, what was it opened against him for?
Which one?
In Atlanta.
Oh, the voting fraud?
Yeah. So I think that same thing is going to happen, and I think there's going to be more people involved. I think Elon is probably going to be involved. Like, we're going to have to wait that for probably 5 years.
It's going to be longer than that, because you got to, not only would this administration probably be hogtied to be able to do something like that, you then also have to get the new administration in. Hopefully they're not a piggyback of the Trump administration.
Hopefully not, yeah.
And then you also got to get new people in. They have to go through all the old investigations. So now you're saying years and years of almost going to be like a decade probably before they even get to start.
I'm just hoping that after, like, Trump fucks us all, that the rest of the people other than black people realize that they're getting fucked, and next election then we'll be back on the same accord. But I don't know, probably not, because this is his second term. So
no, last thing here we got to get to, and this is with your boy RFK. So if you guys don't,
what a huge disappointment he was, because the campaign that he wrote on was not what his morals and his actions ended up being whatsoever. He literally was like extremely liberal, specifically with his with his campaigning on TikTok. It was extremely liberal, and then he just switched it up completely, and that's why we don't trust you motherfuckers.
No, she's totally right. So, all right, so it goes to something similar to what you say here, because this was actually said at the presser.
In your own words, it's not the government's place to tell people what to do with their bodies. You said that, correct? Yep. Mr. Kennedy, in 2023, you came to New Hampshire and said, quote, I'm pro-choice. I don't think the government has any business telling people what they can or cannot do with their body. So you said that, right?
Yes.
Yep. When was it that you decided to sell out the values you've had your whole life in order to be given power by President Trump?
Senator, I agree with President Trump that every abortion is a tragedy, that we can't be a moral authority in this country.
Right, so, but that isn't what you said back in New Hampshire in 2023. My question is exactly when did you decide to sell out your life's work and values to get this position?
Senator, I agree with President Trump that every abortion is a tragedy.
So what you're telling us, just to be clear, because my time is limited, is that regardless of what you believe, regardless of what values you have, if President Trump tells you to do something, you're going to do it.
So that was one example here. And as you can see, where he is 100% down for turning whatever he believes and giving Trump what he wants. So here's another instance right here.
Was a genetically engineered bioweapon that targets black and white people.
He's talking about
but
COVID.
spared Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people.
I didn't say it was deliberately targeted. I just quoted an NIH-funded and NIH published study.
Did you say that it targets black and white people but spared Ashkenazi Jews?
I quoted a study, Your Honor. I quoted
And he quoted that study wrong.
that showed
I'll
that
take that as a
certain
yes.
races
I have
are
to move on,
disproportionately.
I have to move on. Did you say that Lyme disease is highly likely a materially engineered bioweapon? I made sure I put in the highly likely. Did you say Lyme disease is a highly likely militarily engineered bioweapon?
I probably did say that.
I want all
What?
of our colleagues
Like,
to hear
come on.
it, Mr. Kennedy. I want them to hear it. You said yes. Did you say that exposure to pesticides causes children to become transgender?
No, I never said that.
Okay, I have the record that I'll give to the chairman, and he can make his
He's
judgment.
like, well,
about
I
what
can
you said.
show you where you said
Did
that
you
right
write
there.
in your book, and
I
it's
saw the video where he said it
undeniable
too.
that African AIDS is an entirely different disease from Western AIDS. Yes or no? Mr.
Africans
Kennedy?
got a different type of AIDS?
Okay, I'll give it to the chairman, Mr. Kennedy. And my final question, did you say on a podcast, and I quote, I wouldn't leave abortion to the states. My belief is we should leave it to the woman. We shouldn't have the government involved, even if it's full term. Did you say that, Mr. Kennedy?
Senator, I believe that every abortion is a tragedy.
Did you say it, Mr. Kennedy?
That's what they told him to
That's
say.
that's all he's been saying
It
this whole
doesn't
time.
matter what you come here and say that isn't true, that's not reflective of what you really believe, that you haven't said over decade after decade after decade, because unlike other jobs we're confirming around this place, this is a job where it is life and death for the kids that I used to work for in the Denver public schools and for families all over this country that are suffering from living in the richest country of the world that can't deliver basic health care and basic mental health care to them. It's too important for the games that you're...
Man, like I was saying here, what they're doing, they destroyed this man the entire time. Granted, the Republicans that were talking to him, cookie cutter questions, pat on the backs, we support you here, big guy. I respect the Democrats. Bernie went at bro. Well, let me see if I can find a clip where Bernie went at bro.
I think the gist of what you're trying to say today is you're really pro-vaccine, you want to ask questions. You have started a group called the Children's Health Defense. You're the originator. Right now, as I understand it, on their website, they are selling what's called onesies. These are little things, clothing for babies. One of them is titled Unvaxxed, Unafraid. Next one, and they're sold for $26 a piece, by the way. Next one is No Vax, No Problem. Now, you're coming before this committee and you say you're pro-vaccine. Just want to ask some questions. And yet your organization is making money selling a child's product to parents for $26, which casts fundamental doubt on the usefulness of vaccines. Can you tell us now that you will, now that you are pro-vaccine, that you're going to have your organization take these products off the market?
Senator, I have no power over that organization. I'm not part of it. I resigned from the board.
Yeah, that was just a few months.
Hold on, did he just say, I've never heard of it, I resigned from the board?
No, I have no part of it. I resigned from the board.
This nigga here. But no, this is the problem with these guys is like, they'll get on their high horse. They'll get on all of these shows, all of these podcasts, say all of this off the wall, crazy ass shit about making sure that you don't believe or trust the effectiveness of modern medicine, and only to the detriment of the people around. They talked about the measles thing that happened in 2019 with him in regards to how, and his dumb ass was like, oh, when I got there in June, there wasn't measles. That wasn't until months after I left. Nigga, how do you think it happens? You encourage them to not trust the vaccine. They don't take the vaccine. Months later, they have an outbreak. The shit happens like that, dumbass. And you're the one over here trying to convince people to destroy their lives when you admitted all of your kids are vaccinated, but then go on another podcast and say, oh, if I could change one thing in my life, I want to make sure I could take away that vaccine. No, you wouldn't. You know you believe in this shit, and you're playing into these stupid-ass MAGA Republicans' dumbass ideologies, and you doing it in front of everybody, and we caught you. And unfortunately, because you're a white man, you're a fucking Kennedy, you're going to still probably get this position.
Yeah.
But it's very true, very obvious that you're a dipshit clown, and the only reason you're doing it is because you got on your knees and you sucked Trump's dick. You fucking doofus. Like, this shit is disgusting, bro. People are going to die from this.
He ate that.
No, people are going to die from this. People are going to look at health, look at science. I remember even seeing in some discourse, people say, oh, RFK is going to save us now. Are you fucking stupid? You think this cracker who would change over on anything he says if Trump tells him to is going to care anything about your existence? No, it's not. It's just fucking disgusting, man. Like, all this shit is just fucking gross. And I don't mean to get on this grandstanding ass shit regarding it, but the misinformation, the lies, and the fact that they don't ever, y'all don't ever on that side make these men be accountable for their actions and the things that they actually say and do, and then you still perform fellatio on them on the regular, a daily basis, a chore, if you will. It's disgusting. Like, it's so fucking vile. Like, the dude is a fucking ass clown, man. Let me see if I got any more I want to play of this, because this was just a fucking travesty.
I think that's enough clips from it.
Okay. Well, y'all go check it out right now.
Two.
Cash. Y'all, when y'all see this Friday, Cash is right now being discussed for his FBI role, but Health and Human Services, man, that's who we got. A fucking nigga who you can't even understand what he says.
And he flip-flops so hard. You don't want anybody who can be changed in their stance that quickly, like, not even without fact.
No resistance.
Just other people's opinions were put into the equation and he flipped without any facts whatsoever.
As soon as he see Trump, he grab his Vaseline and his saliva and he says, hey, get to work, big dog.
And then he wasn't even like making too much sense to begin with before Trump was in the picture in the first place.
And then the MAGA and the Republicans who are so desperate to feel like, oh, we gotta win here. They try to like cut up little clips and stuff of him getting bodied, trying to make it seem like he said something intelligent. You guys are fucking doofuses. All of y'all. All of you MAGA niggas are fucking dumb. You're stupid as hell. And y'all clearly can't admit that y'all stupid. And it goes back to the DJ Akademiks shit. Y'all create this culture where y'all can't admit any wrongdoing or anything that's in a little bit of it, of just showing that y'all are, hey, maybe I am being a little incompetent here. You can't give any grace to that. And then now you allow these stupid people to play in your face and they give y'all facials every morning. And y'all think, hey, these little clicks and these little, oh, we own the lips. Like, y'all niggas not standing for anything. Y'all falling for a fucking ploy. And it's just ridiculous, man. Fuck you niggas, bro. Respectfully. All right, was there anything else you wanted to get to, or are we good?
No, we're good.
We did our thing?
Mm-hmm.
Did I do my big one?
You did.
Okay. I wasn't sure. You didn't tell me. Usually you'd be like, oh, you did your big one. That's what that was? That felt like you were telling me I did my little one when you do it like that.
No, that's
because even men would be like, "Oh, you're too small." So
no, that's just the clap.
Also,
with the fingers.
You fuck nigga billionaires. You've been exposed. The Chinese are on y'all ass. Y'all boys better learn Mandarin.
Yeah, I'm very hungry, so let's wrap this up.
You don't want to talk about deep seek?
No, I'm starving. I haven't eaten today yet.
Well, we had to do one of our early shows, so we'll get you some food, my dear. All right, time for the phrase that pays, baby. Life is a labor of love, so let's keep building these moments together. And remember, your job is not your family. And the only thing you should be exploiting is these corporations. We want to thank y'all for listening to Talk FNF TV. Baby, tell them what we need them to do.
Follow us on all of the social media at talk.fnf.tv on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're listening on YouTube, leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.
And don't say nothing about my baby YN jeans.